Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is part 8 video in VCP7 Data Center Virtualization 2020. And in this video we are going to configure the multipathing network for storage access. So why we need multipathing we have already discussed in last video. So to avoid any fault tolerance failed switch on the network, or might be a failed control on the storage, we required for FT network, basically fault tolerance network on our environment, to have a ESXi host to run a virtual machine without any failure in case any like network switch or storage control goes down. So basically in this diagram you can see we got storage devices, two storage devices and two switches. So both storage devices got two controllers. So you can say from for example, controller A going to be on switch 1, switch 2, and controller B is going to be switch 1 from the storage 1, and from the storage 2 also one controller A is going to be in switch 1 and controller B is going on a switch 2. So this is basically a fault tolerance network. And also if you see here, from the ESXi host, one NIC is going to switch 1 and one NIC is going to be switch 2. So basically this got a fault tolerance at the switch level. Storage and switch got a fault tolerance because it's going to have a 4 NICs, and same ESXi host is going to have a redundant connection to the both switch. So if in case any switch goes fail or any storage controller goes fail, we will still going to have access to the ESXi nodes through the storage. So basically this is why we need multipathing and multipath to access the storage. So in this video we are going to focus on configuring the multipathing on the ESXi host to have a different path available to access the storage. So this is my demo environment which I am going to give you in this video. So basically if you see here, we got four virtual machines which is running on my VMware workstation 15. So the first one is Win2K12DC01. This is my Active Directory and DNS server. So if I show you, you can see Active Directory and DNS is running on this machine, and this is Win2K19DC01. so this is our domain controller. And the second server which we have configured in last video, we got Win2K19 ISCSI. This is our ISCSI server. So the ISCSI network or storage network is 10.10.10.24 bit. So this is going to a 102 for the ISCSI server, and we got two IP addresses on each ESXi host to provide the fault tolerance for multipathing. So if I show you, this is my ISCSI server. We got Win2K19 ISCSI already joined in domain, which we have installed. Also we have installed in last video, we have installed and configured the ISCSI target server. So if you have not seen, you can go and watch the last video where we have installed and configured the ISCSI target server. And we got two ESXi hosts, ESXi 1 and ESXi 2. Both is running ESXi 7.0 and with the 32 gig of memory. So if you want to see here, this is my ESXi host, ESXi 01, and this is ESXi 02. So both are running VMware ESXi 7. So if you see here, so we got basically 8 NICs in each of the hosts. So why we got each 8 NICs? So there was a basically we need to configure the FT network fault tolerance for the management, VM network, and the vMotion, and the storage also. So if you see here in next physical network adapter allocation and assignment, so we got VM NIC 6 and 7 for storage network. So I will show you here. So we got this 6 and 7 on both the ESXi host, which is showing down now. So I'm going to bring those up, and then we are going to configure the network. So the first thing which we need to do, we need to create the standard switch which is going to provide access to the storage. So I'm going on my virtual switch, and then I'm going to click on add networking, and here we got basically a VM kernel network adapter. So I'm going to create a new switch. Click next. And active ports, so we got two active ports, VMNIC 6 and 7. I'm going to add both of this. You can see both are added now, and now I'm going to click next. So it's going to tell you disconnector, so I'm good with that for now. So I'm going to call it like ESXi ESXi01 and click next. Leave everything default, just click on next, and then I'm going to configure the IP address, which I know 10.10.10.111, and this is going to be a 2.2.2. Sorry, so it's going to be 255.255.255.0, and click next. Then I'm going to click on finish. So you can see now we got one switch here, and basically one switch which is vSwitch1, and on the vSwitch1 we got one VM kernel port. So I'm going to add one more VM kernel network here. So these two both the ESXi NICs are going to be a VM kernel adapter. So I'm going to create one more here. I'm going to use the existing switch. So we got switch 1 and click next, and now it's going to ESXi 02 and leave everything default. Click next. I'm going to configure the IP address. So IP address is going to be a 211 and then 255 and just click on finish. So we got two ESXi NICs here, and both is connected to basically network adapter, which is VM kernel adapter, and we got IP address configured on both. And same I'm going to do on my other ESXi host. So just click on add networking and VM kernel network adapter. So I need to create a new switch, so click next, and then I'm going to add both my NICs, VMNIC 6 and 7. So click next, click OK, and then I'm going to call it ESXi01 and click next, and then we are going to configure the IP address, which is 10.10.10.112, and the default gateway is going subnet mask is going to be a 24-bit. So click next and just click on finish, and now we got one standard switch, and now time to add one more VM kernel adapter. So click next, select the switch vSwitch1, click next, and ESXi 02, leave everything default, just click on next and specify the IP address. So IP address is going to be 212 and the subnet mask is 24-bit. Just click next and finish. So now we got two VM kernel adapter on each ESXi host. So this is good, and now we need to bring these adapters online. So for that, if I go to my ESXi host, basically on first we can go to our VMware workstation, and if I show you the network settings, so I got one VMnet 1. basically this is I have created within the host only, and connect a VM internally in a private network. So this is basically I'm using for storage. So I got this second NIC which I have configured on ESXi server. You got on VMnet 1. So I'm going to, you can see this is on VMnet 1. So same I'm going to configure my these ports, last two ports on a VMnet 1 for both the ESXi hosts, so it can communicate over the network. Just click OK, and same I'm going to do on ESXi host 2. So now it should be both the NICs should be online. So if I go here, now you can see the disk is the basically NICs are online and showing me 10 gigs. So this is good, and you can see we got two VM kernel adapter for ESXi. For ESXi to access the storage, so this is good. On the second server also, second ESXi host also, we got two NICs with VM kernel adapter which is associated with switch 1. So now we can configure the multipathing. So basically if I click on ESXi01, you can see this is connected with the both physical NICs. So this we want to make ESXi01 to connect with the VMNIC6 and ESXi02 to connect with VMNIC7. So it's going to be a dedicated link. So for this I need to select the VM network adapter, and then click on edit setting and go to teaming and failover, and just click override and exclude this. So VMNIC7 for unused for the ESXi01. So now if I click here, you can see it's only associated with VMNIC6, and same we need to do it for basically for ESXi2 on the both host. So teaming and failover and move this VMNIC6 from this, because 6 we want to remove from here. So now if you see here, ESXi01 is connected with VMNIC6 and ESXi02 is connected with VMNIC7. So same I'm going to configure here. So just click on edit and go to traffic and save failover and remove this. And now let's do it for ESXi02. So this is done, and now if I go here, it's connected with VMNIC6 and it's connected with VMNIC7. I guess we need to change it from here. So yeah, it's going to be connect with 7. So now we are good from storage configuration end and network part, and now we should go and attach the software adapter, which is ESXi adapter. So I'm going to click on add, and this is going to be a ESXi adapter, and we got ESXi software FOC adapter also. So I'm going to add the ESXi adapter, click OK. So now you will see ESXi adapter is going to be added. So model, you can see ESXi software adapter, so you need to configure it. So just go and click on edit. Basically you can go and first thing you need to go and path, and you need to add the path for this. For that you need to go to network port binding and just click on add, and you will see both ESXi network here. So I'm going to add both, which is showing me 10 gigs. So this is good. Just click on add. So now you can see both are added, both NICs are added, and path status is not in use. So what we need to do, we need to rescan the storage. So it's going to restore the adapter and it will get the path soon. So one thing also, we need to put the dynamic discovery. So I'm going to put here my ESXi server IP address, which is 10.10.102. so 10.10.100.1.2. so click OK, and now we are all good to just click on rescan storage and click OK, and now it's going to give you the path and other details. So you can see we got multiple paths active as per our infrastructure which we have created, like multiple IP address, multiple NICs are going to access this storage. So this is good, all the path is showing active. And if you go to device, you will see all the device which we have available on our ESXi server. So you can see we got 5 LUNs here, so you can see all 5 LUNs in your device configuration. So same I'm going to follow on my ESXi01. So add software adapter, we will see this is added now. So now go to port binding and add network port binding for both the NICs, ESXi NICs. Click OK. Now go to dynamic discovery and add your server, which is your ESXi target server. Click on OK, and now you all good to go ahead and rescan the storage. So now if you go to path, you will see all the path and also see the devices. So now the all 5 LUNs is available on both the ESXi hosts. So now what we can do, we can go to, just click on data stores, and we can go ahead and create new data store. Basically you can go here, there is multiple way to create data stores, so it's depend on how you want to create. So if you right click on data center, you will get the storage and new data store. So just click on that, and then what type of storage data store you want to create, vvolume, which is virtual volume, NFS or VMFS. So I'm going to create VMFS. Click next, and the data store name I'm going to put it here ISO, and the host I'm going to select ESXi01, and I'm going to select my 50 gig disk, which is for my ESXi. So just click on next, and then I'm going to select VMFS6. So click next, and I'm going to use all the space. So click next and finish. So now you will see the disk is going data store is going to create it soon. So for same I'm going to create rest of the data store. So DS01, so ESXi host 1, I'm going to select my all for 500 GB storage, which LUNs which is coming from there. So just go ahead and create one by one four data stores here. So I'm going to create those for you. So all 4 data store has been created. So now if I go to any of the ESXi hosts, you will see the data stores is going to be available on both the ESXi hosts, since this is the storage is connected with the both the ESXi hosts through the multipathing. So this is all about how to configure multipathing network for storage access for the VMware. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos. And if you have any query, any question related to this, you can always post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.